trap phone bumping. Guess who's calling? Our guest. And you know what? It's a Nokia. Actually, it's a BlackBerry Razr, and it's a burner phone, so the feds can't catch me. What's up, guys?
I don't understand that reference. I'm the young one.
You don't know about the feds can't catch me? I need my burner phone, my BlackBerry Razr, or whatever it is, the one with the little brick. It's like a little brick.
I have no idea what you're saying right now. It's like you're speaking in tongues to me.
Okay, well, you know what a BlackBerry is.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
And have you heard of the feds?
I have heard of the feds.
Okay, well, when the feds are after you, you don't want to use your real phone because they can track you.
That's right.
And you know what they call that in the streets? They call that a burner phone.
I feel like I'm there now.
Exactly. And you know what? Burner phones, I got a couple. You can hit them with a Nokia. The ones that, because they won't break when you're running from the ops, when you're chasing down somebody you're about to rob, falls out of your pocket. Someone steps on it, you can call your drug dealer back. You need one of those. BlackBerry Pearl has that little roller ball as the selector thing. It's not an arrow key. It's like a little roller ball. Yeah, you could definitely call some crackheads with that too. But anyways, welcome to Barry's Basement, everybody.
Welcome to Barry's Basement.
This is how to not commit crime, but to stay away from the feds who are after you've already done it.
This is how to not get caught for crime.
This is not a preemptive...
We're not worried about who's committing what. This is just how to get out of the line of fire. Anyway, we
don't judge here.
We don't judge nobody.
All our viewers are criminals, hopefully.
Hopefully not. Hopefully some of them stay out of prison and subscribe and stuff.
You can be a criminal and stay out of prison. Don't listen to Adrian.
Actually... That's a very good point. Well made, man.
There's tons of them.
Speaking of criminals staying out of prison, we have a guest today.
Fuck yeah, we do. Yeah, we do, dude. And you know what? We have a guest lots of times, but this time, fuck, is it special? Because this guy, we like him.
And
he
won a thing.
And he won a thing, dude. Tell him about the... Oh, yeah, it's Tam Brodirib. I got to stay in frame, dude.
Yeah, you got to... You're right there.
I'm on camera. Where's my camera? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It would be funny if your camera was over there.
Where's
it's
my
like
camera?
in the bathroom.
Honestly, the director of this shoot needs to fucking step it up.
All right.
Not
so
enough
much fun
cameras.
now. I don't want to talk because I forgot I'm here. I'm not just watching it on the screen.
Honestly, that's okay. I forget I'm here
funny.
too, dude. I haven't said anything useful or anything with any substance in about 18 episodes, but I have filled a lot of airtime, and that's what we're here for, everybody. And now you can just see us in person.
What about I only rap for civil rights?
No, okay, that one is actually a bar. Oh yeah, we usually ask everybody, do you actually listen to this podcast at all? It's okay if you don't. I barely do.
I listen to it sometimes.
Okay, you know what?
nice.
That's better than...
That's the best
And then I
response we've
googled
ever
Barry's
gotten.
Basement. I'm sure everyone has, trying to figure out where the name comes from.
Yeah.
It was track one off a soundtrack.
You should tell them the original, the origin of Barry's Basement. You would love
Have
Barry.
you said it already?
You would
Well, if you've already told
it's
it.
you don't have to watch the first episode. It's
Yeah,
fine. We were not as funny
it's a
then
very
as we
long
are
time
now.
ago.
But Barry was me and Leo used to live together back
Yeah.
when we started stand-up comedy.
Yeah, probably like
and Barry
3
was
years
our
ago.
landlord, and he lived in the attic, and we lived in his basement.
And he had a middle floor.
And he had a middle
empty.
floor that he just kept empty.
Just empty.
And then every time we were hanging out in the backyard or whatever, he would just come down and chill. Like if we had girls over or something, on the, like the one or two times it ever happened, he just showed up and was like smoking cigarettes and like he was older Chinese man. So
he wasn't like, I don't know. I wouldn't like be like, hey, that's a Chinese guy. That's not like the first thing you say when you see him. He told us he was Chinese, much like I tell everybody that I'm half Filipino. But like, for some reason, I don't believe this guy. I just
feel
thought
like
he was just saying that.
He had a lot of the traits of a Chinese landlord.
He seemed that is true.
He did a lot. He did a lot of chain smoking. He did a lot of squatting.
A lot of squatting, yeah. He sat on anything but a chair. Upside down bucket, milk crate, anything really.
He sat on his own legs.
Exactly. He was like, he has chairs, but they're not for him.
Yeah.
You don't need them. But yeah, he was our landlord, and we lived in his
Barry.
basement. And Barry's Basement,
Barry's
baby.
Basement.
Very original, very funny. We never did a podcast in Barry's Basement, but we did try and film some funny skits with another comedian
Yeah,
before.
we actually did a D&D thing
with
a couple other comics that went so great and not awkward at all. And I didn't do a bunch of weird voices the whole time.
We've been doing a lot of random shit that makes no money for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
We've just been trying anything that we could label comedy, and we're just like, yeah, this is the one.
This is the
and
thing.
it turns out it isn't the one. It wasn't the one so hard we left Barry's basement.
Well,
And now we're in Adrian and
we're in Brandon's
basement.
We're gonna have to rename the pod when he
I
comes
think
on.
you get first dibs on Adrian's basement. You were here before him.
Yeah, that's true. But Adrian's
was Brad's basement.
Brad's basement has a better ring to it.
Yeah. The BB is nice. Actually, Brandon, I guess. But he doesn't know I guess you guys got fruit flies now. He does know the basement life. We had a big fruit fly problem.
This fucking basements always have fruit flies.
Yeah, especially when two comics live in it. I think that might be it. Maybe not the basement. It's the two comedians.
I've lived in basements most of my life, and I don't think I've ever had too many fruit fly problems.
You were just telling me that there was bugs in your monastery.
And the monastery wasn't in the basement. The monastery was on the mountain.
That's the opposite of a basement, actually.
When I came back, it was so weird to be on level ground again or pavement. I couldn't.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
It's not level any.
Do you wear like the orange
It's
robes?
on the side of a mountain, so yeah, it was completely.
Damn.
Whoa. Nothing was paved, so it was all uneven.
Oh my god!
It's probably just like a workout.
So it was
all the
great
time.
for
fell
your
over. You
ankles.
just fell down a mountain.
Well, you didn't keep falling. It wasn't like it was not. The angle was like it was just
You know, and, I imagine Ace Ventura when he's like putting the slinky down all like the 5,000 steps. I imagine you just walking up those every day and then having to walk back down. Is that kind of accurate?
It wasn't too bad. I had to walk quite a ways to do laundry. I'd have to throw and go down to there was a farmhouse.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause I honestly I have so many questions about this, but
No, dive in.
okay,
What
well,
else do we
first, I did one weekend at the comic strip. I was hosting one of the headliners. A big part of his act was talking about how he was like a white Hindu. It was like something Krishna. Do you guys know? I don't know.
Hare Krishna.
That's the one. Yeah, is it Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna. I know it sounds.
I was
dirty,
like, he said it like the whole weekend, and I was like, I still don't know what this guy's saying. To be honest, like Harry, like Harry.
Hare.
Oh, okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah. So he basically explained in his bid that it's like. A convent of like white Hindus, basically, and he said that's how he grew up. He was like just off like Vancouver Island or somewhere in BC where there's like no running water, no internet, and he lived there till he was like 13 years old and shit. And I was just wondering, is that like so he lived there for multiple years and shit. I was just wondering like how long does it take you to like, because I'm sure there's people who kind of like stand up, they come and they try it and then they quit right away, right?
Yeah.
If you're like living in the fucking woods for like 14 years, obviously you like become some kind of like or form some kind of connection with whatever religion you're doing. He's out now. He's in fucking LA and he's like fucking famous and shit. So obviously he didn't like it that much. But just like how long does it take to like? Basically, how long does it take to not be a poser Buddhist, a poser white Buddhist? Because I can tell people I'm fucking Buddhist, and I can tell people I'm a white Hindu, and they're probably not going to deep dive.
Oh, like how like Vietnam, like how long do you have to be there before someone learns your name?
Sure. Or if the
I think if I understand your question, you're asking how long before you don't feel like a fraud.
feel like some cracker in a fucking camp.
Yeah. So far, it's been 50 years. I feel like I'm fraud in everything I do.
Oh god.
But
that's
that's
good.
even
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, that's even part of Buddhism or that particular brand of Buddhism. There is a sense of, look, especially once you're living in the monastery, because when you're outside the monastery and you see monks,
you're like, whoa,
whoa, they got something going on.
It's like a
but
zoo,
it's different when you're, sharing a living space with them and you're like, this son of a bitch, he's enlightened, but he still leaves the top off the freaking peanut butter. Like it's just, let's not let the customers see that. It's like,
I was gonna ask, do you guys like argue?
How does a monk argue?
Do you guys like take your shirts off and fight each other?
Like Shaolin.
Yeah, exactly.
There were some passive aggressive comments, and there's some. It's like anything else, I think, and especially if that specific monastery was a few people in a very small living space, so it could get tough.
That makes sense.
There were definitely some personalities.
Okay.
And it's a funny feeling because what I find it, and one of the reasons I find it really difficult is you're never really alone because you're with the same three people all the time, but there's nobody else around. So you, on one hand, you depend on these people for survival.
Yeah.
So there's that, I noticed in myself a real urge to, I have to keep these people happy or else I will. And I can see like this was a benevolent cult if there ever was, but I can see where like those cults where they isolate people and they get all messed up. I can totally see, because I was like, I don't know how to be a normal human anymore because, like you said, all those little quirks and idiosyncrasies, they're the only two people you see. So I guess, We don't wash dishes anymore. We don't it's just
oh damn
social norms. I'm using that as an example. We washed our dishes. I once found a dead mouse in a dish soap.
Where was this located? In Canada or?
Yeah. So the main monastery where I did sort of my preliminary training was in California, but as in comedy with religion, we call it training.
Interesting. How do you train?
I was gonna say, how do you is it like a white belt to black belt kind of ranking system? Is the most powerful Buddhist and the weakest Buddhist?
Training implies
when can you start floating, sitting cross-legged?
Yeah, can you see with your fifth sense?
When can you spit yoga fire, dude? That's what I want to know.
You would make a good avatar, I think. I think you would hold the power well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think so. If I trust anyone with superpowers, it's got to be Dan Brodirib.
Oh, absolutely.
You have the training, and now you have a pure soul.
Me and Adrian. Oh no, not at all.
Okay, never mind. Me and Adrian were doing crimes right away.
What superpowers would you have?
Well, if I could have any in the entire world.
If I had to do Buddhist training to get them.
Ooh, yes. What would you go through? What is it worth?
I don't know. What do you have to do? Walk over coals and fucking put your legs behind your head?
Oh no, being fire resistant doesn't really, that's cool, but that doesn't really help me that much in real life. I've never been on fire. Yeah, but I don't want to be a firefighter. I'd still choke on the smoke.
I don't know. They got equipment for that.
That's fair.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, Dad?
Well, I think you were asking about training.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because training implies it's hard, and I feel like some guys you gotta get up every day and be calm.
Yeah, it's training
get up every
in a way
and
find
breathe.
inner peace.
Yeah. Are you breathing?
Well, it is training, I think, in the sense that there is. I always hate it because it sounds like a practice, and you hear that in yoga a lot too.
Yeah.
And it's a funny religion in the sense that we are responsible for ourselves, and that's one of the things that a lot of us run to religion to get away from. The idea, no one's going to do it for you, and so we have to. It does take time, and it's funny that you mentioned training because training with being bored is almost it's hard to do nothing. If you've ever tried to sit and do nothing for any length of time, it's difficult, or I would say especially hard for those of us who tend towards comedy. We want instant gratification, or we want to feel something immediately, and so it's
everyone's hates silence. Nobody can sit in a silent room. It's nobody's laughing at me right now. They must be thinking about how stupid I am. Yeah. I feel like that just comes with wanting everyone to approve of you all the time. But I imagine now that you've gone through whatever Buddhist training, you don't have that desire for approval as much anymore in real life. I think in comedy, everyone just always feels like that. It's either you're crushing or you're bombing, right? But I feel like in regular times, it might be easier for you to not care about what people think since you fucking lived on a mountain or whatever.
I don't think so. I think it's just unrelenting. I think you all, or at least for me, those feelings have always come up. I'm always nervous. I'm always anxious. I always want everyone to love me.
That's fair.
I think what Buddhism helped me with a lot and still helps me with, and the other way I like the training metaphor is it is a lot kind of like sports. You're not just good at basketball forever. You still have to keep practicing. You can lose it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can have bad games, even no matter how good you are.
You can have a bad.
You still,
bad Buddha day.
Or you can have a good game and you're still missing shots, even if you're having a pretty good game.
Have you ever had a really good day where you felt really close to Buddha?
I've had moments, but part of Buddhism is kind of recognizing that they're moments and that they will change.
Okay.
Did you know you're not supposed to pray to Buddha? Because he's just a guy.
But why do Chinese restaurants have all those shrines of him?
It's for luck. You don't have to pray to it.
Oh, so you can give offerings but not pray? Isn't that kind of praying? Because there's always an orange or incense being burned or some coins in the little bowl next to the Buddha. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and apparently that's not even the same the real Buddha. It's a different.
That's just some
Buddha.
guy.
No, it's a different Buddha.
I think what he is he's Hote, and he's a bodhisattva, which is a little different.
Oh.
So there is rankings, I guess. If you're talking about blank belt, there's sort of bodhisattvas and Buddhas and arhats.
Okay, so who's top Buddha? Who's the guy?
The
one that's not the big belly guy.
He's got a. It's not the big belly guy.
That's just his champion.
What's his name? Chakram.
So his sort of light name was Shakyamuni Buddha. His Siddhartha Gautama is the name they gave him. But
Holy fuck, this might be the first podcast we actually learned something on.
Yeah. But the thing you got to remember is Buddha isn't like a guy. It's almost like a title more than a.
It's like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're awake or you're like able to see things the way they are.
And is it like originally like Chinese, or where did it originate from? Like
it came from India.
India? Okay.
So it, and a lot of even some of the stuff that they sort of teach in Buddhism actually comes from Hinduism. Like it's sort of worked in. Like I don't know if Buddhism is. I don't know if the guy was supposed to looking to found a religion exactly. Like he was almost like a. I almost think of him. He's kind of like Tony Robbins more than like he wasn't trying to save people's souls or anything like that. Yeah. And in fact, the whole idea of a soul kind of screws up Buddhism if you start to believe in that.
Oh, really? Wait, is Buddhism the reincarnation, guys? Or is that someone else?
Oh, this is so...
There's some that
I can talk about this forever.
So little about anything that isn't being Catholic.
From my understanding, which is very little, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's like two basic types, and one is eventually you reach nirvana, and then you keep...
Nirvana's good.
Yes. And then it's like enlightenment. And then you keep getting reincarnated to help others reach nirvana. And then the other train of thought is you keep getting reincarnated until you reach nirvana, and then it ends.
So you can just be infinitely reincarnated, or nirvana? Oh shit! Okay.
And you never reach nirvana. You just struggle infinitely.
When I learned about reincarnation as a kid, I was just like, okay, when I die, I'm gonna will myself to come back as like an alligator.
You want to be an alligator? You just want to be in a swamp all day, bro?
Something cool, man. Like, I don't know. But you have alligator brain. In a swamp? You got alligator brain. You think it's awesome. You know, you're like, I love this place. Yo, I just saw a video of like 100 hippos fucking up an alligator. Like, an alligator was trying to eat a baby hippo, and I'm not even kidding. Scariest thing I ever seen. 150 hippos all fucking gang banging an alligator.
Hippos are terrifying.
It's so scary.
That's really
I was
scary.
like, wow, this was nuts. There was like there was a lion like chilling, like just looking like, you fucked up, dude. Like, you should not have fucked with these hippos, because it was actually
lions got filming.
Yeah, so they're just like sitting there like shaking his head like, why did you go for the baby hippo when there's 100 hippos like hanging out? I never seen that many hippos all in one fucking spot, man. It's actually crazy. It looked like West Edmonton Mall Water Park. Just everyone's just fucking like. Oh. Yeah, I guess I met fat people at the water park. I didn't think about that funny thing I just said. I more so meant they're just like, they were so like packed tight. You could literally walk across the water of hippos. Like they were like fucking stepstones, and they were all just like eating an alligator. And it was like, they were ragdolling the fuck out of a grown ass alligator. I was like, whoa, hippos are cute. But
hippos are metal.
Pretty scary, actually.
Yeah. I've heard they're one of the most dangerous animals.
Yeah, I see them just like eating watermelons and biting boats in half and shit.
All right, if you could get reincarnated and choose, which I don't think is the point of reincarnated. I think it's actually the opposite. I think Dan was going to tell me. I
don't think you get to choose. Like,
well,
I'm
actually,
coming back.
Dan, we'll give it to you. Reincarnation, but they had to. Okay, here's this kind of makes me laugh because it's like theological rules lawyering.
Yeah.
So the idea behind Buddhism is everything changes all the time. Mm. And the idea behind reincarnation in a lot of religions is you have like this soul that goes through the ages. But the problem is it kind of fucks up Buddhism. If you have if they say nothing changes, but you also have an eternal soul, that kind of wrecks it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know, that's true.
So it's not you that's sort of reincarnated, and it's your tendencies of mind that keep going.
Huh.
And the way I like to explain it, it's almost like... this might be a bit dark, but my brother passed away about 15 years ago, and he didn't leave a will. And so that sort of... So his decision not to leave a will had stuff that kind of went on past his death, right? Like, oh, we have to deal with this. We have to...
Yeah.
And that's sort of the same... I think what they're trying to get at with Buddhism, with the idea of rebirth, it's not you per se, but...
It's like it will happen, but you will have like no concept of it.
You're like character.
I almost sort of think of it almost like, did you ever see the movie Cloud Atlas?
I don't think I have.
Like I thought that was kind of an interesting, because it was about 6 stories in a row, but it was the same actors playing different characters. And they were they weren't the same person. Like some of them even switched genders or switched races, which actually caused a bit of a furor.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. No, that's
that
pretty
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. I think it's...
So for Buddhism, is there a heaven, or is it just like some, like you said, nirvana? Is that like the version of heaven, or like just somewhere where after your body goes after death, it doesn't necessarily need to be good or bad?
So the short answer is we don't know.
Okay, well, that's my answer too. I don't fucking know. But everyone likes to believe in something, I guess.
Yeah, one of the ideas that some of them have is this idea of, and it's something I kind of think about, is you will sort of be drawn towards, in your next life, unfinished business in this life, or basically more of the same. And again, it's not you per se.
Awesome, dude. After I die, more of this shit.
Dude.
Fuck yeah,
That's my big.
Basements all the way down.
There's
baby.
basements, no hell, just basements.
This is my anti-suicide speech, which is not caught on in the lexicon. It's like,
Okay.
how do you know if you do it, it won't be just more of the same shit?
That's a good point. Imagine you fucking, sorry, if you kill yourself and you just reincarnate into a universe where you're
The
right
exact
before
same
you kill
person.
yourself, you're like, what? I'm fucking here, but you just have like 4 arms instead of 2.
Oh, that would be, you already have 4 arms.
Oh, you're a piece of shit for that, honestly. But yeah, I get it.
All right, well, guess what? You have to start rapping now. On that, you got to start rapping.
Oh yeah, Dad, I ruined the podcast every episode by by doing this.
Spitting
It'll be
bars?
awesome. Yeah, I try and then I take so long in between episodes to ever do it again, so it never catches any skill or I never get any better. And I just fucking try and I embarrass myself. You should have seen when we did it in front of Simon Glassman. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen him like so like uncomfortable. Like I think he was sweating. You know, like he was very upset that I was doing it. But you're one of our
He was
special
very
guests, Dan,
angry.
but you're not special enough to dodge the rap. So I'm sorry.
I'm really excited.
Okay, cool.
What are you gonna rap about? You gonna rap about Buddhism? I feel like that's
is that
not the-
blasphemous?
I don't think that's the point.
Was
of
there
it.
any Buddhist crusades?
No, I think they're mostly
That's
a
like
peaceful
opposite of
people.
it, eh?
Yeah, I think that's.
Shit.
Well, we haven't had enough. I don't think Buddhists have gotten into enough power enough to get into trouble, but
Dude.
generally you see it on a small scale.
Wait,
Yeah,
are
what's
those
the biggest
like
Buddhist
And
scandal?
I think is it
Yeah, oh.
Malaysia? One country there. The
Shaolin?
the Buddhism and the
That's the only monks I know,
Islamic.
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I saw that on a TV show. They might not even be real.
Shaolin Soccer, Shanghai Noon,
Okay.
Shanghai Nights.
What?
That's Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson.
Oh my god.
Shanghai Noon. They're like he's like a Chinese like monk and Owen Wilson's a cowboy, and they just like have a wacky rush hour
I like
duo
that.
cop adventure.
Jackie Chan is in so many.
It's
amazing
actually such a
films.
random movie, but it's really good. I enjoy it. I was talking about it with my friends earlier. But anyways, here's the freestyle type beat attached. Free type beat 2024 rap trap instrumental.
Rap trap instrumental.
Yep.
We should just
So,
start
yeah.
playing this somewhere else.
What do you mean?
I feel bad that we're on camera now and they can just see how low value this production is.
You know what? I feel better.
It's real. It's authentic.
Oh wait,
It
I
is
almost used this
authentic.
one before. We can't do that. Just wait. It gets good. But
That's the voice of the
I'm
Buddha.
walking up the mountain. You guys are about to walk up on the mountain lyrically, motherfuckers. Everyone, lock in for the Buddha. Yo, it's time to rap about Buddha, and he got a really big belly full of snacks and liquor because you can't rap quicker, and my bars are sicker. You suck. Take dicker. Oh, fuck, dude. You know what?
Shout out the Buddha.
Shout out to Buddha. He would be happy about this. Oh, it's Buddha time. It's rap time. Buddha says no crimes and writes rhymes. Oh, shit. Shit. God damn it. I hope I get reincarnated as a guy with bars. Adrian, play the fucking intro. Welcome to Barry's Basement, motherfuckers. We are back at it like a crack addict. And we are here with, you guys met him on the intro. You heard my bars on the intro. You got enlightened on the intro. Everyone, please make some fucking noise for the very funny
Daniel Brodirib. Oh,
We're
man, I need
here
to make sure
again,
that's
but
recording.
this is the podcast never started. Oh, wait, what's happening?
You're good.
Oh, shit, I'm all good. Don't worry about it. The podcast it already started, but we're back, and this is the real part of the podcast. You know that the first part was just a little fucking teaser, just a little tip for you, a little 1-inch pinch.
We tease them with Buddhist,
We have
Buddhist theology.
Nothing like the Buddha.
Reincarnation.
Get you
we
ready.
can't make it too.
Just to catch people's attention.
That's what I'm here for. You know, we try and go deep, and then I fucking make a dick joke out of going deep because somebody has to. Anyways, Dan Brodirib, what's up, man? This is our podcast. And we got a lot of female viewers. Any enlightenment you want to give to those bitches? Sorry. You can't say that.
Don't enlighten the bitches. Otherwise,
they're gonna get too powerful. Don't give them any secrets.
Like a sequel to Scaring the Hose. Enlighten the bitches.
Hearing you say "scaring the hose" is awesome. We should have done what we did. What, like, on our third episode, we had like a bunch of like Gen Z slang that we just threw at Nick McQuick. And I was like, we should have saved it for fucking Dan. Because some of Nick's answers were so funny. It was like,
I probably still have that somewhere.
He said it, and we were just like, "Aw," I was like, "Oh, that's what you think it is. That's so cute."
The problem is Dan's like he was a teacher for like a teacher's aide, so he knows the lingo.
Yeah,
like, you know what Riz is?
That's charisma, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We said that to Nick McQuick, and he was like, "That's good weed." He was like, like Smoke RZA.
Isn't that the guy from the
Yeah, it is from Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, I was like, you know what? I get how you got there, but it's not it. It's funny though.
That was good.
He also said it like this, Smoke RZA.
Shout out McQuick. We got to get him back on now that we have video.
Do Buddhists, I'm assuming you can't like drink or smoke or.
There was a Buddha guy or a Dalai Lama that was an alcoholic, wasn't there?
Dalai Lama was a pedophile, wasn't he?
No, he licked one boy's face or whatever.
That's pretty bad. If you did that, I'm never letting you not hear about it.
What do you mean?
If you licked a young boy's face,
I've
only
licked
talking
a young
about
boy's.
that.
No, I'm kidding.
That's all I'm talking about,
dude.
Tell the whole podcast. But yeah, no, he did that, I thought. So maybe he doesn't get
what
to be enlightened.
What did he do?
I didn't see it. I wasn't there. But it looked pretty. What they said is there is some cultural
flavor
thing to it. Like it is something that.
I
don't know, it's like, I guess it's like got your nose for Tibetans or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
It's not a great look.
Well,
Tibet doesn't have much else other than their monks. So the main guy licking young boys is just gonna get Tibetan racism off the fucking rails.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's gonna get reincarnated into something.
Is he?
Maybe.
Well,
he said he might not. He can just choose to not.
He might be just saying that for the two.
Wait, people just say
pretty smart guy.
You can just do that? Yeah. What if this guy's like just a fucking he works in an office and then he's like some big corporation's like, we need a fucking guy.
We need a Dalai Lama.
We need a Dalai Lama.
No, they pick him out when he's like 5. And then they send him to the monastery for training for his whole life. But there was one that they didn't find until he was like 15.
When he's fucking ripe for the age of enlightenment.
Yeah, it's very odd because usually they find him at like age 5, but then he made it to age 15 before they saw the Buddha in him.
Do you find a lot of like people who have their lives together look for Buddhism, or it's people who are rock bottom?
I would say it's kind of the opposite because it's
okay.
You're looking to be. I think a lot of us are looking to be saved, or when we started, or just miserable. Like I was actually in a pretty good place when I found Buddhism, but
that's good.
It was. It's sort of. Some people say it's practice for death. I don't know. It's
okay.
It's so hard to because Buddhism is it's a big religion and there's lots of different denominations, so
like
it's hard
clans.
to yeah. Well, it's like Christianity.
Do they ever get into Christianity type conflicts?
Clan wars? You got any clan wars going on?
It's mostly passive aggressive stories about and then I said this and he said that and then they write it down in a little.
Is there like racist Buddhist people?
Probably.
But because when you get like really, really Christian, you get like kind of, it also adds in there like homophobic, racist, stuff like that. If you get like super, super other religions, it kind of adds it in. But is that with Buddhism? Because I feel like it doesn't really.
You just hate having
Buddhism
hair on your head.
is weird, and part of it is I think it depends. Like I come from kind of a westernized Buddhism, so it was a lot of hippies and boomers looking to get away from Vietnam. So and a really strong Jewish influence for some reason in the 60s. Like a lot of, if you look at a lot of the big names in Western Buddhism, they come from a Jewish tradition. So so it's kind of a weird. This isn't pure Buddhism exactly. It's kind of like we take the parts we like and kind of adapt it, which is
that's the
what
only
Buddhism
way
has
to do
done.
religion.
Most of it's like we're kind of.
It's you can pick and choose.
This is kind of a Canadian version of an American version of an English version of a Japanese version of a Chinese version of an Indian tradition. So it's
you know what? If it works for you, it works for fucking. It's all about what works for you, I guess.
Do you think you could make it in a temple, Leo?
Definitely not.
How
dude.
long do you think you could last in a temple?
Bro, I can barely do regular. I can barely go to the grocery store without fucking smoking weed. So like, I don't even know how I'm
you
gonna.
can smoke weed at a temple. Wait,
can you? I doubt it. They probably have some like weird.
So Buddhism
like,
is fun, and this is
thing.
okay. I'm going to lecture again, but
yes, please.
So Buddhism is a little different. Like we talked about, like what you're supposed to do. It isn't really about that. It's what leads to a minimum of suffering for yourself and others.
Does
and that
Buddhism consider
changes-
suffering like
bad?
Well, yeah, suffering is usually considered bad, but I mean, like, what is their suffering? Like, not being like holy, or like not, finding peace within yourself.
Yeah, that's sort of it. It's happiness, and it's not. But for them, happiness it's more of a serene happiness rather than there's kind of excited happiness, and I'm sure we've all experienced that. Yeah. Like I would say, crushing is kind of a fake happiness. Like you're on a high, but it is almost like you're impaired. Like you're kind of I'm the greatest, and it's you're not really.
It's like nobody could have done what I just did.
Yeah.
Even though like five of my best friends,
even though three other guys are about to go rip right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
So their idea is a big part of suffering is living out of step with reality, or out of.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's what.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and so when we talk about. Like there are these things called the precepts, which are sort of like the 10 Commandments.
I was gonna ask, do you have like I guess not a stone set of rules, but like a listable like amount of like concepts that you have to.
Yes, there is, but the list is different depending
really
on which branch of Buddhism you go to.
Makes sense. How many is in yours?
Ours has 10, but the big 5 are pretty common, which is sort of I'm trying not to kill, and which I actually like. Good. Yeah, it's
trying is hilarious.
I like that. I like adding that. I'm teaching, or I like the idea. I'm teaching myself not to kill. I'm teaching myself not to steal. I'm teaching myself not to. And the one with drugs is often used as misuse intoxicants or use intoxicants, but intoxicants kind of covers a lot of ground, which is where they start to like killing and stealing seems pretty straightforward. But once it gets into the sex ones and the drugs ones, it's sort of like, well, what does that mean exactly?
Can I drink coffee? Can I have like pop? Or like
and even ideas can be intoxicants, right?
Except weed.
Killing and stealing in moderation is.
Yeah, killing and stealing.
You know what? Killing in moderation, it's fine.
Well, you have to kill to live. It's just
somebody had to die for us to be here.
Cows had to die for us to make burgers. Good. And that's also killing.
Yep. What about kill people?
Okay, no, you don't have to kill people.
Some people do.
Yeah. Well, that's 100% true, and that's where it gets blurry.
Exactly. We're fucking deep on this shit. People need to kill people.
No. Nobody needs to kill
anyone. What about Afghanistan?
They feel an urge. What?
What?
They didn't need to invade Afghanistan.
They had to do something.
Yeah. Well,
somebody had to do something over there. Just kidding.
Well, it does get into that because it's sort of like, well, this is wrong and it is going to create suffering, but it's sort of, you're almost, like I called it almost religion for grown-ups, which is kind of mean to other religions, but the idea is, sometimes you got to, this is not ideal and is going to create suffering for me and maybe a few other people, but I'm just going to have to take it on the chin because over time it's sort of the best of a lot of bad options.
Did you try any other religions before you landed on Buddhism?
I was brought up Catholic.
Yeah.
I always preferred. I found Buddhism at 18 or 19. I didn't really understand it. Like I didn't quite understand Zen was the same as Buddhism. I'm like, I like Zen better, but they are sort of
interesting. You're from Edmonton too? Like grew up here and stuff?
I was born in Ottawa.
Okay,
and then we moved to Edmonton. Maybe I was 2, and I grew up in St. Albert. So.
St. Albert, let's go. Home
Home
of the Buddha, right there.
Home of the Buddha.
Noah's going Buddhist next. You should try and influence him. That'd be so funny.
Me and Ahmed fighting for the souls of the Edmonton comedy community.
Just a conversion race.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Your pitch for Buddhism is a lot nicer than Ahmed's pitch for Islam. Yeah, because he's like, listen, you can be mean to any woman, bro. It's like, I don't want that.
He's like, yo, bro, imagine you come home and she's cooking for you and you don't even have to say anything, bro. 2 wives, 3 wives.
Ahmed's coming on the show in a couple of weeks, just to let you guys know. This is a preview.
Can't wait to hear that. That'll be good.
Yeah, you guys should fucking debate Buddhism versus Islam.
Oh yeah,
that'd be sick.
I think one of the big things about Buddhism is that
I'll join.
If you find a better, I think there's a thing in Buddhism that says if you find a better religion, you should run with that one.
Is it because just like if you weren't devoted to Buddhism anyways, we don't want you?
No, because he's like, I'm just a traveler along the way. Like, I obviously don't know all the answers. Now, if you find someone who knows a bit more, feel free to follow them.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of smart.
Yeah, the idea is to, if it's creating suffering for you, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like in Catholicism, the idea is that God cannot produce suffering. But I like what you said. Buddhism is like, yeah, we can. If we're not good for you, you can just fucking leave. Catholicism's like, we're the one. Yeah. You ain't leaving. It's like we're perfect. We did it this way. And if you feel different, hell.
Yeah, it's hard to compare them because it is different. Like a lot of religions, and I would say most Islam and Christian are kind of like, it's about what you believe.
Yeah.
And Buddhism isn't, or at least the branch of Buddhism that I do, is what you believe is kind of secondary because there's lots of people who believe lots of things.
Yeah, it's like,
and some of them are miserable and some of them are happy. So what you believe isn't necessarily, and this is hard to wrap your head around at first.
Yeah.
But it is actually a good thing knowing just because I believe something doesn't mean it's going to make me happy or that it's correct. And I think it's easy to do it with religion, but it's harder once it gets into, say, your personal life, whether it's about relationships or what you think of yourself as a comic. It's like, just because I have this idea in my brain does not make it true. And it also...
And just because other people are telling me it's true doesn't necessarily make it true.
Yeah, because there's probably other people telling you different things, but you don't believe them because you don't think that about yourself.
Yeah, you kind of let in some people's comments.
Like when I tell a dick joke on stage...
You don't tell dick jokes.
No, I tell dick jokes,
You have one dick joke.
I got a couple dick jokes, okay?
I like that you coughed on your own words.
Yeah, dude, I got a couple dick jokes out there. And you know what? Sometimes I think about, why did I do that? Is this suffering? Are they suffering? It's like I have jokes that I say and I immediately suffer while I'm saying them. And then what do? Tell it the next show.
And
What's
then
that about?
You're the one suffering.
Is that Islam or Buddhism's fault?
I don't know if it's... I think it's your fault. Nah. And I think both of them would tell you that.
Nah, that's wrong.
I think both of those religions would be like, that's on you.
I want to choose a religion that tells me nothing is my fault.
Oh,
Which
go
one?
Scientology.
Okay, well, I want one that Tom Cruise isn't a part of.
I can't even think of another one. What is the pasta one?
Wait, Scientology tells you that you're right all the time?
Scientology is just for tax write-off purposes. It's legitimately...
I don't know,
this is so interesting, even though I'm serious, because the idea of fault is a big... And I think we get it confused in our society. Sorry if this is too heavy.
No, keep going.
There's a difference between...
Lay it on us. You heard my bars. They're pretty heavy. So this is the level we start
they
with.
are about the Buddha.
And this is, I think, where it gets complicated for people, and it gets complicated for me, is the idea of doing good. And it's almost like we have two ideas of good in our idea. Like one is, like it's supposed to be good as in helpful, but we also have an idea of good as in judgment. Like if I'm not doing good, that makes me a bad person, as opposed to I did a thing that was unhelpful or a thing that caused, destruction. Okay. And so when you attach that extra layer of, and it's really easy to do in comedy, is this joke failed, therefore I am a failure. Whereas the idea is, no, the joke failed, I am still okay, or I am not hurt. And these people will get over it.
I'm big on the I'm a failure kind of thing.
If one joke fails, it's the joke's fault. If 100 jokes fail...
It's the audience's fault. It's fucking people threw me off before I need to get in the zone before I go on stage.
Oh, no, for real?
Everybody knows.
No. That's real.
I'm saying it as a joke, but it's kind of real.
No, because yesterday I was like, let's go. I'm popping off. Today's gonna be a great night. And then in the crowd, I saw someone who I haven't seen since university, who came to probably my third or fourth set ever, and then never spoke to me again.
Awesome.
And I just kept thinking about that the entire night. And then I had a mid set, and I was like,
You're like,
I am foolish for wasting my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can definitely get in your own head about shit. No, that would suck. I hate seeing people that.
Seeing people you know and then not doing your best.
Yeah. And now we have we're starting a show and I'm just going to be asking everyone to just fucking come. And I'm like, oh shit, I have to stand up in front of people I know now.
Crush in front of my old friends who didn't think I was funny before.
Honestly, all my friends saw my first set. So like.
And they're still your friends?
Yeah,
You're a rat bastard.
Fucking crushed my first set, dude. That went so good, and then just
damn it.
downhill from
We
there.
are two sides of a different
Straight
coin.
downhill from
I
there.
did not crush my first set.
My first set, I ripped. Second set, roll a whole new 5, same spot, just ate it.
I don't think I crushed until I got into the triple digits.
Really, dude?
Of sets, yeah. Don't think too hard about that, but yeah, that's
Some say I'm still waiting.
that's like a year and a half,
I don't
dude.
think I've ever actually done it yet. I was gonna say triple digits. That takes a fucking while.
It's 100 shows.
Yeah, that's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I feel like you had at least one good set before then. Maybe.
I probably had good parts of sets. I don't think I had a complete good
I had good
set.
seconds, not good minutes.
Yeah,
You know,
for real.
like, I'm more of a seconds guy on stage.
All of my one-liners would hit, and then all the stuff I did
Dude,
between
all my
them
setups
were awkward.
crushing, dude.
I learned that I'm a setups
My
guy.
premises are crazy.
I'm not a punchlines comedian.
Yeah, dude,
I think that everyone wants these fucking.
It's hard. That's fucking
Everyone wants these applause breaks and the standing
Not
ovation.
me, dude. I like a groan, and then one of the moms goes, "What's on TV after this?"
Yeah, I like a bunch of old ladies talking about what they're gonna do after the show while I'm still on stage. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that is a good time. Good time.
Good fucking time. I was gonna ask you another Buddha question. We're gonna have to name this something Buddha related for sure. Is there a counter? Is there a devil, like a counterpart, like an evil Buddha rival that he has to fight in the sky?
No.
He doesn't got
He
one.
doesn't fight anyone.
Well, just not actually
There are
fighting this guy.
devils
We know
and
what I mean.
demons, but what's interesting to me about Buddhism, or at least in the parts of Buddhism that sort of believe in that, they are also subject to the same things as the rest of us do. So, for example, you could go to what's called a heavenly realm or a hell realm, but that is also temporary, theoretically.
Right.
Like you would, if you met, but it's just harder to do in a hell realm. It's hard to do good things in a
It's like
when you're miserable
like a
and suffering
multiverse kind of.
Yeah.
It's like negative energy realm.
yeah.
And then okay, no, that's
And in
pretty,
the
that's pretty
positive
cool.
realm, it's also
actually.
hard to get any further because everything's great for
Everything's
you, so
perfect.
you can be
Whoa,
selfish and
that
lazy.
sounds pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is there
I'm
any-
learning. This is the most I've learned.
This is genuinely
hope
interesting.
probably a
Interesting.
year.
That's still very
I
awkward.
was like, usually we just fucking yell about pedophiles or like
Yeah.
try and make each other
This
laugh.
is
This is
way
genuinely
better. Should this be what the
interesting.
podcast is? Just interesting stuff? This is way better.
What were you saying earlier about when the comics are
Oh
having
my
fun?
god! When the comics are having fun, the show's bad. That's true.
We were literally saying on one of our episodes, they're like, what if we just got someone who like wasn't a comic and actually had something we could ask them questions?
And now we
Like,
have a
what
comic
if
who
we
is
What if we
interesting?
interviewed someone? Fucking stupid.
What's wrong with
I
you?
think we've
Why would
changed
we
the
do
show. We're gonna do a lot more of fun interviews.
I think
This
we
is
should
dope.
do mushrooms and then talk about Buddha.
Oh, dude, Brad,
more.
fucking Peters did mushrooms at the moon last night, and then he was
That
just,
would be my least favorite place to do
I know.
mushrooms. That would
Holy
be
shit.
the worst place ever to do mushrooms, bro. Just
like-
a bunch of tweakers.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's high as fuck. No
Yeah.
one's having normal
Nobody's
interactions.
talking to you. Nobody. You're not getting.
Everyone's
Yeah.
socially like, oh man, what if everyone thinks I'm weird right
There's
now?
no music. There's no TV. Like you just have. It's a big ass room. With
And then it's like
lots
20
of
comics, and
shadows.
by the end of the list, it's like people really bearing their souls, and this is on mushrooms in the back, like tweaking, and people are like,
in the back, honestly, the back, like the green room, would be cool to fucking
Yeah,
trip in.
the
If there's
green
a
room.
TV in there, but like,
"There's no TV."
I'm
He
not
was just
trying-
sitting there listening to the show through a curtain.
bro,
What did
no.
he say? He's like, stand-up's kind of absurd when you just...
Absurd.
Dude, we both
I
had
don't
an
think he used
ego
that
death.
specific
last
word.
night.
It's
but-
funny. It
might
just
be
starts talking
paraphrasing.
differently when he's on mushrooms. Absurd.
Dude, I
He's got an accent.
That's funny. So mushrooms,
He is
yeah,
the-
that's a terrible place.
Princess Diana.
Yeah, that'd be so jokes. But no, that'd be cool. Have you ever done drugs, Dan? I don't know. It seems like a pretty fucking
yeah.
dumb
I
question.
have
Have you
tried
ever
them, and I
done
didn't really like them that much. I
They're
liked
more
how
religion.
Wyatt gave me a hit off his vape, and I was like, "Oh, this tastes fun! Like that's way better than well, it was way better than
That's
rolling
so
vapor." And
sweet.
POV, but Dan just took a blinker tip. Dude. He just took a fucking trip to Blinker Town with Dan Brodirib.
Dad just hit the Benjamin,
The
bro.
Benjamin with Dan. Yeah, that's some the Gen Z slang.
Yeah.
I don't even know what any of those words mean.
You
Also,
know what the Benjamin is?
okay,
dude?
I know what the Benjamin is.
what it's all about.
It's like, well, it's a dab pen, but everyone on the internet and just like kids call it the Benjamin. Like Benjamin.
Yeah.
you get it.
Oh
Yeah, it's very, very clever. Very
Dan,
clever.
have you ever been to a rave? I feel like,
Have you been to like Burning Man?
yeah,
No.
something like a festival in the middle
I
of
think
the.
of right out there. What's the equivalent of like a
I went to Folk Fest once.
All right.
Wasn't really mine. Is that like Burning Man?
Yeah, dude, just like Burning Man, bro. You sit on a hill in front of a fucking road and shit, and you see some stuff. Yeah, there's no burning crosses or fucking heroin.
There's no burning crosses at Burning Man?
It could be.
I don't think there's burning cross. I know there's burning like teepees. Wait, that's not better.
That's
like
not much better.
That's not better.
They got burning effigies.
It's kind of like midsummer. It's like
I don't know. Just like live in the desert and be dirty and smell like shit and listen to music.
yeah, I can do that in my own basement.
You can't do that at Folk Fest. That's so funny. No, all the people I know at Folk Fest are like the worst people ever.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was a metal guy.
And
So
this-
that was supposed
Oh
to be-
shit!
Yeah.
You were a metal
You're
guy.
a metal guy and you
Yeah,
like.
but like not heavy. It wasn't heavy then. It was all like Iron Maiden and Warrant and
Oh, okay.
Queen's
See, to me,
Reich.
that's pretty
was-
heavy.
Yeah, when you said Iron Maiden, I was like, that's the heaviest metal band I could think of
Yeah,
off the top of my
these
head.
days
Oh,
there's
God,
like
have you
extreme
seen
death
Kevin
metal.
Light's T-shirts with the words you can't read?
Oh, yeah.
I've, one time I got a ride with Kevin Light and he played me some of the music he listened to. Explains everything about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
It's
The
a-
way, yeah, it's very, very,
It's different
very angry
levels
and very You should get Kevin Light on here.
Kevin,
One
you're
day,
coming. Yo, we were
powerful
both
mustache.
on Kevin Light's podcast back in the day. You remember?
Back in the day.
Kevin Light used to have a podcast with a
In
guy
Barry's
named Kyle
basement.
Caniff in Barry's, basement. It
Before
was
I
called
lived there.
Ruining the Joke.
I was gonna. Thank God you remember the name of it.
Holy
'Cause
shit,
I did
dude.
not remember the name.
It's called. It's A+ material.
And it
Kevin
was
Light, Kyle Caniff,
all
interviewing all
comedy
comics.
talk.
And it was
Sure.
during
Like
COVID.
every other podcast.
It was no. It was during COVID, so it's all over Zoom, and I don't. For some reason, it makes it so much funnier.
It's hilarious. Just,
It's wicked.
Yeah.
And we that's like what I was 2 months into
yeah,
stand-up.
they got
and I
all
was-
of us when we like first started. Like they could literally blackmail us with anything we said on there about
Yeah.
stand up. I'm just like talking about like jokes and shit like I knew anything.
Yeah,
It
I was like,
5
remember
years
there's
later.
room for laughs.
Comedy's
Yeah.
like that though. It's so much easier to talk about. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'll listen to new people talk about comedy and like, or you'll listen to like veterans on podcasts and like they're saying the same
It's
actual
all
words
like
to
the
each
same
other.
kind of like buzzwords and shit.
And then you watch them do comedy and you're like, oh, I thought you knew what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I guess it's easy in theory,
Yeah,
but then the practice of actually having to be like
Yeah.
like most things.
Yeah. No, I get
like
that.
enlightenment.
It's
Just
like-
for you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
I'm actually
just,
very
Just gotta
enlightened.
be in the moment, man.
Just
I'm here
live
to
in
help
the
you guys
now.
reach
Live in the
nirvana, actually.
now. What was that book?
Comedy's
Power
almost
Now?
like the anti-Buddhism. In other words, it's almost designed to make you suffer.
Yeah, we are.
It is.
the rival.
Because it's
You're
like even
in
when
the
you crush,
moment.
you're like, I'm not gonna do that again for a while, and then
Yeah,
when
that-
you bomb,
that-
you're like, this is how fucking bad I am.
Yeah, you're like walking off stage and the fucking adrenaline is just like depleting as I get down the steps off
Yeah.
the stage. And then everyone's
Yeah.
like, good job. And I'm just like,
And that's even just the performance
it?
stuff.
And then
There's also
sometimes
the
they don't say
writing
good
and the,
job
like being
anymore.
in draws all the time and not
Yeah.
knowing if
Or
you're going to
just,
get
like,
on a
honestly,
show.
just
and it's stressful.
going
Like,
out
I'm stunned.
every week to just like try to do stand up.
Yeah.
It gets like so like, I wouldn't say discouraging, but like anything, it just gets kind of like stale. I don't know. For me personally, I'm just like, I'm
I
not.
think-
As soon as I like stop having like a blast with it, I'll like chill for a little bit and then go back. But
That's probably healthier. I've been thinking about that myself, that I probably should take a break at some
just
point.
go straight
And
until
I know
until
I
you
will be
burn
better,
out.
but
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because a lot of comics, they'll like give you shit. They'll be like, "Oh, you taking a break? Like you quitting?" It's like, yeah, fucking.
It's like, bro, this shit is like tiring.
It's
man.
gonna be here
Yeah.
when you get back, man.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
can
oh,
leave
I-
for 6 months, come back, and literally nothing will really be the
Yeah,
difference.
The longest break I took was like 1 month, and like literally the whole month I was like beating myself up about it. I was like guilty as fuck, and then I came back and it was the exact same.
Yeah.
Like nothing had really changed. Yeah, you're like a little rustier, but like literally 1-2 sets, you'll be good if
Back
you
in the
actually
game.
cared about it in the first place. If
It's
you suck
fascinating.
shit and then you stop and then you come back, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's gonna take
it's
some-
gonna be way harder, but like it's just like knocking the rust off is not as bad as like some other things. So I
Yeah.
think taking breaks are good.
Breaks are good.
But not if you're shit. Keep going if you're shit.
I mean, if you're shit and you think you want to stop,
just stop and then never
That's
start.
a great time. Do something that you'll love and be good at.
Give
which-
up, basically. I need more spots.
Yeah, listen, I dropped out of law school. Sometimes you have to know when
Everybody
something's
else,
not for
just
you.
stop doing as much stand-up so I can get more spots. Thank you.
Yeah, no one books Leo because of you guys.
You pieces of shit.
undercutting you.
You bastards. We got a famous podcast and still nobody's booking me. Isn't that crazy?
We also, I don't know if we mentioned this. Me and Leo have a show now.
Oh my God, we have a show now.
No.
And
didn't.
we I think we talked about this show on the podcast a couple times.
We talked about doing it.
We talked about doing it.
And now it's ours,
And now it's ours. That's how good we are.
And we asked.
We did ask. We actually begged.
Yeah, we were like, can we please
And
have
then
this?
we also convinced another guy to not
Another
try.
guy wanted it, and then he was like, nah, you guys have it. And
Yep.
that's actually how we got it.
And that's
so,
on.
you know what? You don't need to be good at business. You don't need to be good at negotiating.
You just need to be
don't
there
need to
at the right
influence
place
people.
at
You
the
just
right-
have to ask and then hope. And then usually won't go which way you want.
But
this
eventually it
time,
might.
It did.
Can you tell us about this show?
Yeah, of course.
That
Adrian,
you
tell
got
them about
one?
the show.
So the place called the Afro Power Lounge. It is the coolest vibe in the world. Is like colored lights. There's
us
like
two
a thick
crackers got a
smoke
show
in
at an
the air.
Afro Lounge.
Well, yeah, that.
Look it up.
That
But you know
is a
what?
very funny twist to the show
But
because it
guess
is like a
what?
very like African American central like it's heavy on like that kind of community or whatever.
It's a black room.
Yeah, it's a black, and then we have to host it every week.
Hey, but you know what? Not a full white from Africa.
I think we're gonna be fine.
You know,
I think we're gonna
okay.
be fine as
I'm
long as
taking
we.
it. You're probably more African than some of them.
Anyways, sometimes I panic.
I don't know if we can keep that in, but we'll try.
We'll fucking see
It's
what
kinda funny.
happens. I think it's very funny.
You know what? The funniest part about it is
Here's the
kind of
problem.
true.
It is a little bit true.
Some people's families have just been in Canada or America.
Yeah.
They've never been back to the motherland.
I had to teach my parents English. Some of these people didn't have to go through that.
That's true. But yeah, no, that's pretty funny. We have an African. So.
We do have, and it is like a very cool venue because you can like smoke weed in there, you can smoke hookah in there, and it's
Yeah.
like.
They run it as a private event, so they could do all that shit.
sort of like-
And
Yeah.
also they sell food out the
they
back.
sell great
and it's the
food.
best food in the
Yeah.
world.
all this good shit.
And is this just going to be a regular show, or are you
It's gonna be
It's gonna be a regular show. We're not really trying to
well, it's
do
gonna
a
be
mic.
not a regular.
Not like an open mic,
Yeah, not an open
but
mic,
it'll be
or not even like a book show. It's gonna be like a
Yeah,
showcase.
it'll be like yeah. We want people to come fucking rip and shit. But
Yeah, we need people to turn up.
I don't know what we're doing. We were supposed to have our first show this upcoming Wednesday, but they're having still like renovation issues with the venues. And they said that all shows until they finish the renos in February are going to be at a second location. I don't know if they want us to do the second location.
Yeah, they
show.
do at Foundry.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
At Foundry.
At Foundry, oh fuck, dude, we already did a second location show when we like got given the show at Foundry, and fuck, dude, it was so hard. Everyone ate it so bad.
Yeah, that
so,
was
yeah.
great because we got the show and we were
got
like
the
really
show.
hype. We were like, "Yo, this is great. We're gonna do our
Yeah.
best. We're gonna be sick." And then I bombed harder than I have bombed in probably.
honestly, everyone bombed incredibly hard. It was a tough room.
Yeah.
Like people weren't like it was really open. There was like the lights were on. People were having their own party on the other side. Like some people were listening.
Sounds like Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
It was like if Grand Prairie was 3 couples sitting not
Yeah.
beside each other.
And they were just not fucking with you at all.
Yeah, they
and we had
hated
like
you.
I don't know, it's a pretty strong lineup, and it's just fucking tough.
That's
dude.
awful. Like it's
Yeah.
hard when
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I don't think I have the emotional strength to run a show. Like I get stressed out with lineups, and I get stressed
Yeah.
out with which order people are going
Honestly,
in.
I've
and then
never.
If people don't go well, I assume it's my fault for.
Yeah, I mean, I
Thing.
think that's a better mentality to have, other than I'm perfect and you guys fucking go die. I can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've never actually like run like a show like this before. We had a couple like one-off random things. We had like
Swag Thursdays.
Swag Thursdays
The
at
Comedy
the Grindstone.
Dojo. The Great Big Quiz of Canada.
That was pretty funny.
That was awesome. And we
What was
never
that?
did a
Have you talked about it?
sequel.
Have you told these people?
We
about
actually
it?
have it.
No.
The Great Big Quiz of Canada.
It's like, okay, so in the UK, every
Good
year,
project.
at the end of the year, they get a bunch of comedians together and do a game show. It's called the Big Fat Quiz of the Year. And I decided we were going to steal that and do a Canadian version
Yep,
during
nabbed it.
COVID because we had nothing to do. And it was sick. I hosted. Leo, were you on it? Were you competing?
I think I was competing because we
Yeah.
filmed the promo with Kyle Kniff.
Yeah. You were competing. Simon Glassman was on there. Shout Simon. He's on an earlier episode.
Yeah.
Kyle was my co-host.
Oh my god, yeah.
We had
were-
Alicia
Brad
and
was
Brad.
there.
Oh my god, dude, it was so fun. Just making those guys answer trivia questions
About Canada.
is so crazy.
I know.
Because some of them knew like random stuff, and you're like tight.
Yeah.
And then some of them didn't know the most
Some
basic.
people were doing joke answers too.
You're
like-
supposed to do joke
yeah.
answers. It's a fun bit.
Yeah. I think I did a combo.
We're gonna do another one of those
trying to win.
eventually if I ever decide to raise the money for
we
it.
should toss in some of our old promo if they could see what we were promoing back and what we looked like back then.
No.
Did you guys look different?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Dan, you would.
Adrian looked more different. I would say I looked.
I had shorter,
similar-ish, but I
bob length
definitely
hair.
looked different.
It was
So
like
you had a
around my
Charlotte
ears.
Bobcats hat instead of a Charlotte Hornets hat?
No, I wish I didn't have any hat. I just fucking.
Leo
was
used to not
outside.
have hats.
I used to have a like fade all the time. I literally only wear a hat when I need a haircut, and I push the haircut so far, so I just become a hat guy for a little bit, and then once I literally never wear it unless I don't have a haircut.
Do you think wearing a Charlotte Hornets hat is more distracting than anything your hair could say about you?
No.
I guess nobody knows who the Hornets are, so they're like,
Yeah, they're the last place team. It's not so much about the Hornets; it's about a purple hat than anything.
Del Curry played for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, Del Curry
Steph
played for the
Curry's
Hornets.
dad.
yeah.
Dude, Alonzo Mourning.
LaMelo
Glenn
Ball.
Rice,
Kemba Walker,
Yeah, we can
dude.
name a
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of players who never made it anywhere. We can just
Glenn
keep
Rice is a champion.
Glenn Rice. Yeah,
Curry
the
and Rice was their
fucking,
backcourt.
Curry and Rice is their backcourt.
MJ
Curry,
owned
Rice.
the Bobcats. for a little
Backcourt
bit,
and
didn't
their food court.
They had MJ owning that shit and they couldn't win. So
Well, he was famously not very good at management. He was like an asshole to everyone he knew.
well, that's why he was the best.
As Steve said, how are you the greatest basketball player of all time and you have one friend? And it's like, damn.
Fucking, he's friends with his rings. Got 6 friends actually.
You got 6
Would you trade that though? Like that's what I find. And comedy's actually a pretty similar example because you have to work so hard at that.
It's like
other
everyone
things fall to
says,
the wayside. And
yeah.
you're like, okay, if I could be really, really good at comedy,
It's like when you get
would
to
I
the top,
trade
you're
seeing
alone.
my nephews grow up? And I'm like, part of me, kind of. It's, it's an
for
open
real.
question.
It's like all those people. It's like I don't know. Like when you get to the top, you're all alone. It's like you
Yeah.
think like that's why people like Ellen, for example.
But
or
I'm
like,
at the top.
Or
Like,
like, or like Oprah. You know what I mean? It's like everyone hated them. They had all this fucking terrible shit. But did they have like the longest like daytime running TV show for that everybody knows for like the rest of their lives? Yeah.
Yep.
It's like what? How far are you actually willing to go?
How many heads are you willing to step on?
Like how many people are you willing to fucking throw under the bus for success?
Yeah. Because it's got to be one
It's
at
gotta
least.
be, if you actually want success,
It has to be at least
maybe
one.
this is anti-Buddha
it's hard,
teaching
even
right
if you're
now.
trying to be a good person. Like you have to. Like,
Yeah, no, you
I
have
find
to-
it very hard to, like, know what the right thing to do is. Like, say you got a show and then you get an offer to corporate the same night for like
yeah.
an extremely amount of money.
Yeah.
Like it's
No, you always take the money.
I'll always take the money, baby.
You always take the money, and if anyone is ever mad about that, they are
Okay, what if the show
losers.
doesn't pay as much, but it's like a JFL showcase or something?
Oh, well, I mean, that's crazy.
But
Because
what
you get a
if the-
JFL showcase,
what-
you get to move to
What
America.
if the corporate is 5 racks?
You're actually asking a wild would you rather right
a
now.
very hypothetical question at this
Yeah,
level of
yeah.
my comedy.
5 racks versus JFL showcase. Is it just a showcase, or am I on New Faces?
It's in Toronto. It's a showcase in Toronto.
I get to fly,
It's not
fly
New
out
Faces.
to Toronto.
It's yeah. And
Fuck,
you
I'd
do,
the
and you do like
showcase.
7.
Yeah, I do the
you do
showcase.
like 7 minutes, but you have the only thing they're paying for is your hotel and flight,
Yeah, you know.
and you have to do 7. And for the 5 racks, you have to do an hour clean.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll take the 7 minutes for hour
Yep,
clean.
7 minutes.
Hour clean. I had to do half an hour clean, and it literally I started talking at half speed.
I've never.
I
done
sounded like
anything
you.
clean.
I was doing a
It's
Leo
like,
Langford impression.
You gotta catch yourself, you know.
I was literally like, "Hello,
Didn't say
my
fuck.
name
Nice.
is Adrian."
Pause for laughter. And
I do
carry on.
always write pause for laughs in my jokes, but it's always like a bit.
Do you
that
actually write pause for laughs?
Yeah, but it's like a bit for me because I know that's like it's like a douchey thing to do.
I feel like that's just
so,
like a bit people say.
yeah.
Like pause for laughter.
I don't do it sincerely.
Yeah.
I don't go actually like, oh, this is a great spot to pause for
Yeah,
laughter. But
but-
if a joke gets like really awkward in parts, I'll go like pause for laughter.
Yeah, I'll say it as like a cop out thing. You know, all the stuff that like comedians say is hacky. You can say it on stage if you're like saying it sarcastically. And
It
the
works
reason
every
people
time.
think it's hacky is because it actually works.
Well, that's
And
the
that's the problem.
that's the curse of hackiness,
yeah,
right?
It's like, oh, that's so hacky.
It's
yeah,
not-
but
you can
everyone
be a
laughed.
hack and be good at comedy.
Oh, there's yeah, you're telling me. Right here in the
No, I know
basement.
about that.
That's what I do.
I don't think there's any people I would consider hacky in this room.
Yeah, I think
No,
we're good.
Well,
God,
me maybe, but
Nah, in this
I have my
room,
moments.
no.
In this room, in the camera's lens.
In the city,
Leo, who's the
Man.
hackiest comic you know? No, it's actually the year of
bleep it.
positive. I don't know if I mentioned this. It's the year of positivity. Only positive vibes.
True, we
It's hard to be positive. And I
Yeah,
find
it sucks. And every time you bomb, you go, I dropped out of law school. I would have been a lawyer for a year already. And then you have to go to bed alone after that.
I don't have that problem. I dropped out of communication studies. So there you go. Not the same. Not as much guilt.
Yeah, very like.
I was on my way out anyways. I was skipping classes to play
We've got
basketball.
lots of time.
Yeah.
Dude, the law ain't going nowhere.
Unless society collapses.
Unless, something goes wrong.
Burning my books for warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't play
And
D&D.
lawyers have been
That's true,
killed.
yeah. We've actually
lately.
been just yapping this whole fucking podcast, but we do a little fun Dungeons and Dragons